Hey everyone, it's been a long time. I haven't been making any videos due to not being sure what to make. But with Lostark coming soon on February, I think the thing that I could help all the new players is to know the class's endgame play styles instead of like builds or anything to maybe help decide on you guys on what classes to play. I'll start the series by my main class Gunslinger because I know most about that class. First of all, I'll quickly review how all the skills are structured in Lost Ark. There are three main types of skills: synergy and buff skill, mobility and support skill, and main DPS skill. Synergy skills provide extra stats for yourself and the party, often some things like crit rates and additional damage. Mobility and support skills include skills that provide extra mobility, of course, super armor, and counters. I'm gonna put counters in here. To add, super armors are skills that won't knock you back. It is often used in later raids that has knockout depths. Some classes have them and some don't. And main DPS skill obviously provide the main damage for your class. In the skills, there are three damaging attributes you need to know: destruction, stagger, and regular damage. Destruction is shown in levels 1 or 2. It provides destruction stack to the monster or the guardian. Stagger damage is usually needed on an orange bar gimmicks, or enough of stagger stacked on the boss stuns them for a short period of time. It is labeled in strengths. And regular damage is just, of course, the raw damage in the skill. So unlike other classes, Gunslinger has 16 skills you need to consistently utilize, and it's a glass cannon, so it's not a newbie-friendly class. So since there's a lot of things to go over, let's go over the basic skill forms first. So handgun form. Handgun form should be your primary position due to having all the mobility and synergy skills stacked up here. Make sure to practice keeping your weapons at handgun mode for better control. It has 3 crit synergy skills and 4 mobility skills and 1 counter. So shotguns deal decent amount of damage and stagger, but you need to be close. Gunslinger does not rely on back attacks due to the skill perk she has. Most of the skills that everyone uses are these 4. They don't use judgment time because it's a shitty skill. No one uses that. Usually the Last Supper is used as large stagger to provide a large amount of stagger and destruction. And the other 3 deals decent damage and stagger at the same time. So lastly, let's go over rifles. Rifle skills deal the most damage when the target's HP are lower than 50%. So better gunslingers freely control the DPS cycle to use rifles more dependent on the boss's HP. It also has a super armor support skill, the catastrophe does. Now let's go into details of each skills and which skills are often used. So for handguns, you have all the synergy skills, which is, well, technically 4 synergy skills, but the party synergy skills that everyone needs to use as a mandatory thing is the spiral tracker, equilibrium, agile shooting. You notice I put them into all level 4 with this tripod. This gives 10% more crit chance to yourself and your party. I'll show you why this is important as a playstyle. And your 4th synergy skill is your quick step, where you can steal movement speed, as in make the enemies move slower, but bosses doesn't count. But you move and you attack 13.8% faster if you put it to level 5. So these are the main synergy skills you have. And also you have the counter skill, which is also a movement skill. And the another movement skill that you use, the somersault shot. And you have the death fire, which you use for super armor. And the leftovers is really depend on what you want to do. For example, you want to use the grenades as a stun, which you use on Abroshed, the last raid. Or you level more up on some of these so that you have better mobility. The versatility depends, and it's really based on users. So for myself, I use the Rain of Bullet for more damage on back attacks when all my other skills are on cooldown. The other skill that you use, you have the AT-02 grenade. So you put it to level 7, which unlocks the stun, the freeze grenade. If I show it to you right here. It doesn't work on guardians, but on certain raids that requires CC, which is the biggest one is Abroshed, the first gate. You need to use CC to easily dodge a gimmick, right? So if there are no CCs, gunslingers tend to level this and then take it so that the party has a little bit more CC to help out. For let's say you want more mobility, you would take out the Rain of Bullet and then level it up to 4 so that you have a faster movement, right? Or you can have the agile shooting to level 7 to have more movement, or you can even have it to 10 and make it 3 movement. So the handgun section is where you can customize, but the shotgun and the rifle is pretty much set in the meta. No one really uses the other skills because they're far more worse than the other two in terms of So to quickly go over the handgun skills, use the quick step to make sure you have a higher moving speed, and then you use any other crit synergies, these 3, the spiral tracker, the equilibrium, or your agile shooting, to enable 10% more crit. And let's say you are in trouble, on the boss, or the boss is about to attack you. You use any of the movement skills, right, to dodge away and position yourself, and then use the synergy skill again to make sure that the 10% bonus crit is staying there. Now let's go over shotguns. First, judgment time. You don't use this shitty skill. Shotgun firing, good DPS, good range. And then you have the Last Supper. You use this for stagger and destruction. You use the extension bullet for, again, DPS. And make sure that you hit the last one, the last bullet, for more damage. And then you have the Matance bullet, which is the other DPS skill, the main DPS skill. Also making sure your last one hits so that it does a lot more damage. Both of the shotgun skills, you have to make sure the last bullet hits, or you'll lose severely on DPS. Yeah, shotguns are simple. And let's go over rifles. So rifles here, Spiral Flame. No one really uses this, but you could if you want. Actually, no. So Catastrophe. People use this for the super armor. We don't really use this until the Abrosha, the very last raid. There are instant knockout deaths, right? And you don't want to be knocked out, as in, when you get hit, you just fall out of the stage for some reason, right? You don't want that kind of deaths. So usually you use this to make sure that you stay in place, and you get hit on purpose, but you don't get knocked out. It's a little bit harder to explain, but it's like a gimmick that most people are starting to get used to. And I think in future patches, there will be more gimmicks that you have to be utilizing the skill. Going back a little bit, this would be the same case. Deathfire is also the same case. You're in super armor while you're doing this. So people use Catastrophe. The Gunslinger has 2 super armor skill, which is pretty good. Now for Perfect Shot, notice this particular skill deals more damage when the HP is 50% or less. This is including the engraving. So this skill is less used in the beginning, but more used at the end when the boss's HP is under 50%. And here, Focus Shot is also your main DPS skill. One of the best main DPS skill. Usually use the 4. And make sure the last one also hits too. And here, the target down is also a very good skill that everyone uses. Quickly going over the awakenings. Most people uses the large diameter explosive bullet because it does a lot of stagger. Plus, it is easier to land instead of the other Twilight Eye. Twilight Eye does a lot more damage when you deal in one person, but I don't really use it. I think what is important to know is what the playstyle is, which is the main point of this video. So I explained about synergy skills, movement skills, encounter skills, and the main DPS skills, right? So Gunslinger, how is it played? Gunslingers, you use the handgun skills to enable synergy, and then you swap into your main DPS skill and fire it. For example, you have your quick step, you get your buff, which is a 13.8% movement speed and attack speed, right? You move faster, and then you attack faster, right? So you land your synergy skill, and then you use your rifle. It's much faster. And also, it's also on a side note, this particular rune increases it even more. So you may notice the skills going a lot faster than it's used to. This is the first synergy skill, the quick step you need to use, right? Now, you need to enable the counter synergy skill, which is either agile shooting, spiral tracker, or equilibrium. So usually what they do is they do quick step, and then they do spiral tracker for the best mobility. Most people use this as a combo. So you use the quick step and then use spiral tracker like this because it stays. It stays on the ground to keep enabling the crit chance. So if you notice this icon here, so here for 5 seconds you have 10% more crit chance. You have 7 seconds here, and this one you have 11 seconds. Equilibrium has the most. Your combination would be quick step to spiral tracker to switch to shotgun skills, and then land as much as you can. So if I show it to you here now, you swap like this, and then you land all your shotgun skills in time, just in time, and your skill just runs out. And then you finished your shotgun stance. You switch back, and by the time you switch back, you will have your quick step and your spiral tracker back. If you don't, you still have the agile shooting and the equilibrium to deal with it. For rifles, if you wanted to switch rifles though, you want to use equilibrium first instead of the spiral tracker because it provides longer crit synergy, and because rifle skills tend to be longer. So if I give you an example here, so the rifle skills, you can land all of them with the crit synergy buff on. You provide synergy, do all your shotgun skills, and then you do it again. You can land all of it with the synergy in place. So this is the main playstyle that the Gunslinger should play. With tier 1 and 2 attributes provided, this cycle is not existent. So people may not be used to playing it this way. But since this is the end game mode, if you're not comfortable doing this many swaps and this many button pressing, right? You may have chosen the wrong class, right? And I have some friends that, you know, are not liking it at all. So, and sometimes when you're doing damage like this, let's say you're in rifle mode, you're doing damage like this, and the boss is like about to do a crit attack, right? You have to be able to switch to your handgun and land your land your counter skill, which is the Peacekeeper. Peacekeeper is your counter skill. The Last Supper, the shotgun skill, is also a counter, but it's a little slow. So it might be a little hard to utilize. And let's say for super armors, let's say you're in danger, you're attacking, you're doing some DPS, and all of a sudden the boss is about to do like a huge ground stomp, right? And you can't get hit. You can get hit, but you don't want to be knocked back. You're attacking and stuff, right? Oh, it's about to do a pound. You can switch to the Deathfire to make sure you don't get hit, right? You get hit, but you don't get knocked back. Sometimes you really don't want to get knocked back because you get comboed and, you know, you just get wrecked, right? So to go over the other engravement, which it disables the shotgun. I think it's like a hipster build. Not many people use it. The main meta build is the Peacemaker because it does more DPS. This one does a lot less, but you have the, what do you call it? I guess you have the easiness of having 2 guns instead of 3. So it's a lot easier. So you'd be going around with your pistols a lot more, and swapping to your rifles afterwards. So lastly, to go over the playstyle again, to make sure you know what the end game really looks like and how your class is going to evolve into. You have your synergy skills, your main DPS skill. Make sure all the synergy is utilized. Switch back. Have the longer synergy skill. Switch to your other rifle. Deal damage. Go back. Back to your synergy skill, and then you ran out. You're waiting for the cooldown. You're waiting for the cooldown. And then you use your synergy skill again. And then you switch back. Let's say he's doing a counter. You counter back. Then you switch your rifle. Make sure the synergy is still there. And then you use your synergy again. Use the shotgun. It's very fast, and you have to press a lot of buttons. And you know, some guys actually like it. Some guys will like it more. So maybe some people are excited on the skill cap of the class, or some people are not be interested in the skill cap, because some guys might enjoy playing a class that you press less buttons but does a lot more damage, right? Maybe a slower class like a berserker or something. I showed this to a couple of my friends already, like, you know, how it's gonna be played, and some of them like it and some of them don't, and some of them are glad because they actually played Gunslinger in the beta, and it played completely different than the end game Gunslinger, right? Hopefully, just like my other friends, maybe if some guys are watching this video, maybe it helped out a little bit. And also, obviously, I have other classes as well, like bards and all, and two other commander raids with like the end game meta. Like, so I know all the playstyles and stuff, right? So if anybody interested, I can probably make more. If not, whatever, right? So cool, thanks, and I hope you guys are excited for the Lostark coming out in February, and I'll probably still be there. Maybe make videos if I want to, and or stream. So cool. So hopefully to see you guys again. Thanks. Bye.